presented to you by Raw Sports Radio Network. Thank you guys for being here, for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't already, please like, notify, and share buttons and any help spread the word that this is the place you want to go to talk about, to see, discuss, and overall get a feel for sports. And as I've mentioned before, we are expanding and broadening horizons to where we are going to be able to discuss more than just basketball, than just football, and slightly touch on Major League Baseball or hockey or soccer, football, however you want to pronounce it. So these things are all in the works as we grow. We're not trying to grow the fastest, we're trying to grow the best and put the best product out there for you, the viewer, subscriber, to get. Also, one other thing here. When you subscribe to this channel or support me on Facebook, if you do, thank you very much. I really appreciate all the love you guys have shown me on Facebook. Then also realize this, and we've made this pledge at Raw Sports Radio, and I have made it also myself, a pledge on Facebook and on YouTube, that anything that happens monetarily, and there's no guarantees that we're going to get monetized. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it does, it's because you guys helped it happen. You guys helped make it happen. And without you guys, we can't make it happen. So once that actually does happen, and I believe truly that it will and it can, we're going to give back. When I say that, I mean, we're not going to put the money in our pockets and just be happy. We want to be able to give back and do things that other people will say they do, but don't. So it's a vision. It's a long-term goal. And without you guys, it's going to be just a pipe dream. So thank you again for being here. And like I said, please, if you haven't already, subscribe, share, like, and hit that notification bell. So let's start out with this. Let me shout out to some other channels out there. And we might have some other people hop in. You never know. People have schedules, and it's a lot more difficult for some people to work around certain things than it is for me. Whereas I am very much readily available when it comes to doing things of this nature, especially when it comes to lives. I truly do enjoy it. It's a treat for me to be able to do it, and being able to work with the team at Raw Sports Radio, Super Dave, Trav the Truth, Castro, and the rest of the guys that have been coming in, like Brandon. Really do appreciate everybody's input, and anybody that's watching and always likes to comment. We enjoy that. Usually on Thursdays and Sundays for sure, we had the phone lines open, the call-in line, so you are welcome and encouraged to do so. Always encourage you to comment and see what you have to say, and we always do get to the comments. We might not get to them right away, but we always get to the comments. So just be patient with us, and you will see real, actual growth. Aside from that, guys, what I want to do is give some shout outs to Rod, the Water God, and his channel. And it's really Rob the Water God. Go check it out. He's got a lot of good stuff on there. Give some shout outs to Hickory, the Drunk and Entertaining. You can find him on YouTube as well. And also Nerd Sports, which airs every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which I will also be joining in on as well. And aside from that, we're also going to give love to ourselves here at Raw Sports and trying to bring you nothing but the rawest, the realest sports news that's available. And we're going to be honest about it, not here to sugarcoat things. We're not Stephen A. Smith, we're not. Are we qualified? Probably overqualified. My opinion, I could be wrong. Nothing against Michael Wilbon. I got love for you. But none of you guys will ever live up to Stuart Scott. That's what you ought to achieve for Stuart Scott greatness. None of you guys are even on that Stuart Scott level yet, but you can keep trying. And I hope that you can get there someday. But let's get on with this, because this was the game last night. I usually say the best for last. That's what I like to do. And by the way, I just realized that Super Dave is in the house behind the scenes. So when Super Dave says something, you creep it up. It's important, and you better listen. Otherwise, Dave's going to come to your house and he might beat you up. I'm kidding. Dave is not violent. He won't do that. I'll do it. I'm Russian. Trust me. Also, not serious. There's no violence. It was a joke. You too. Relax. But last night, it came down to Denver, Los Angeles. LeBron, the chosen one, the great LeBron James. Is he going to be the guy that is going to be the only one in the history of the league to come back from a 3-0 deficit? Is he that great that he is going to be that great to be the greatest to come back and win it in game seven like Agent Zero, aka Gilbert? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Arenas, aka I wear dresses, talking shit 7 games. He's lucky they win 5. And that's just because I think Boston, or not Boston, the Nuggets decided to go a little bit soft. And the Nuggets didn't even play the best game, but I will give LeBron credit in how he played last night. He played hard, he played tough. He made some mistakes. He wasn't as crisp and as sharp as you would expect him to have been, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You got to understand, this motherfucker's on his 21st year, so he's not a young guy. The body, no matter how good this dude looks, the body has wear and tear all throughout its life, especially as a professional athlete playing at as high a level as he has. I know you can't believe I'm saying this, but I've already said it before. LeBron is a hell of an athlete when it comes to being an athlete. He is unbelievable. Anybody who tell you different is lying to you. Now, when it comes to LeBron being the greatest basketball player anybody's ever seen, that's an entirely different story. And we're going to get in on that here just a little bit because something interesting came out the other day. And I believe I might have touched on it the other day with Brandon and the guys, but I think that an actual article came out on it now that made it official to where I'll get into later. I'll say that for later. But last night's game, the Lakers played a great game. They played tough. They kept it close the entire game. But here's the problem. The same problem they had in the last 3 losses against the Nuggets is they keep blowing leads. I believe they had it as high as 9 points last night. And still, they were not able to hold on to this lead. That is not a knock against LeBron as an individual. That goes along with coaching. That goes along with rotation. And Darvin Ham went 9 deep in his rotation last night. So he did everything he could possibly do. But LeBron James still played over 40 minutes. And at his advanced age for being where he's at and as well as he is playing, that's amazing. I give props to LeBron. I give props to the Lakers for being in there. Were they a playoff team to begin with? In my opinion, the answer is no. I think the Kings would have been a better suited team in the tournament, but I digress. They are now no longer in the tournament, and now we have a matchup that I think is going to be spectacular, but I'm not going to get into the matchup until we got the whole panel and the crew here with us to talk about it. But the matchup I'm talking about, you know what it is. It's going to be the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. And when that matchup happens, starting what, I think tomorrow or Thursday, I'll double check, that's going to be one to watch. But in the meantime, we got a lot of great games. We had a lot of great games last night. We had some people, obviously, some teams got their ticket punched to the second round. Congratulations to OKC Thunder taking out the Pelicans in 4, which didn't come as a big surprise once we knew that Zion wasn't going to be available and able to play in the series. So congratulations to the Thunder for advancing. They're the number 1 seed. They're expected to beat the number 8 seed. So this isn't anything that's magical necessarily, but in every game that they played against the Pelicans, with the exception of the first game where it was a 2-point difference, 92-94, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the Zion factor, as we'll call it. He does make a difference when he is in the game, available, healthy, and playing. He is a monster, an absolute monster. And if you haven't just watched him play a game or have ever seen film on him or didn't watch him when he was playing at Duke, then this is a good time to get familiar with Zion Williams. Because if this man conditions his body and takes care of himself in the offseason, switches some things up, and I don't know what it is. I'm not one of his trainers. I'm not one of his nutritionalists. But the eye test tells me that when I'm watching the Zion, that there are things that he can do to put less wear on certain parts of his body. They're going to take the brunt of the punishment when he's on the court, i.e., his knees, his heels, his ankles. So, conditioning is going to get him to where he needs to be, along with the right diet and maintaining that. I think that'll help a lot of the injuries that he's had, and just being able to have a good team around him. And this year they did. They deserve to be in the playoffs. They didn't do well in the playoffs, but like I said, without having arguably your best player available to play, that was the result. The day before, we had the Timberwolves punch their ticket, as we've said already. They made, you know, they made it look easy. They really did. But it was entertaining all the same. No surprise. Guess you could say that I was surprised because I believed in my heart of hearts, and I say this now, and I'm going to say it again. The team that had Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Yusuf Nurkic, Eubanks, excuse me, Bol, and then you had another handful of role players were not the problem with how the team was able to play in the tournament. The tournament was the result of poor coaching, bad decision making, a lot of times by some of the players. But I think ultimately, if it hadn't happened already, and I haven't heard anything as of yet about Frank Vogel being released, but I'm sure that is probably in the works along with Darvin Ham. But before you go on and replace somebody, you want to make sure that you have a good replacement. One thing to keep in mind. But the Suns, with Kevin Durant being a future Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt in my mind, one of my favorite all-time players. And when I say that, that is a very, very, very small list of individuals that stand above others and clearly dominate their competition. And to say that Kevin Durant didn't do that in this series would be a lie. He did exactly what Kevin Durant was supposed to do, but Kevin Durant is only one man. He's not five people. He's also not the coach of that team, which I think the brunt of the blame for their shortfall in the tournament is going to come down to and ultimately cost him his job. Frank Vogel wasn't their first choice. That's a known fact, but he's the one that they went with because he was available. They could have had Doc Rivers. They could have had a few other guys. And I think now that they will have some time going into the offseason before the draft to really evaluate who's out there and who's going to fit in best with Phoenix and the players that they may have remaining, because we're not sure what's going to happen with KD. We don't know what he's going to want to do, along with Bradley Beal. These guys have been in the league for a while. They're veterans. They still got plenty of gas in the tank, don't get me wrong. But just like anybody that gets a little bit older, you're going to lose a step. You're going to lose a little bit of your athleticism. And for the most part, professional athletes, and I'll use Jordan as an example, was able to develop a jump shot, which he worked on consistently. And if you recall the NCAA championship when he was with North Carolina, his jump shot, that mid-range, is what won the game. So it's something that it's been something he's been working on his entire life. Same with KD. You can put KD, whether it's a 1 or a 5, he can run your floor. He can do it all. The man is amazing, 7 feet tall, to our knowledge. And like I said, I really believed that they were going to be a whole lot more competitive in that series. But unfortunately, I think that one big thing that worked against them is the fact that they did not have an answer for both Rudy Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns. And without Frank Vogel making adjustments and having the right rotation in order to, you're not gonna do a lot in way of taking away points from them, but you can throw them off of their game and allow yourself a chance to stay in the game and win it. And they were in that opportunity several times throughout the series. But I hate to keep throwing Frank Vogel under the bus, but honestly, he was the bus driver to the loss. And I think that we're going to see the repercussions of that shortly. Uh, Last night, we also had Miami and Boston. You know, Miami plays hard. They're a great organization. They've got great coaches all the way from the training staff to the nutritionists to the wait staff to the front office with Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, who's been there ever since he was like 6 months old. I believe he was born right when Miami became a franchise. So he was born to be a coach for the Heat. And he's one of the greatest coaches, even as of right now, with his resume. So hats off to him for being able to do what he's been able to do. And it's been a close series. If you look at that series and you compare it to the 1-8 in the West in Oklahoma and the Pelicans, every game, with the exception of the first game, they just beat them with a bat in the face and just clubbed the hell out of them like a baby seal every game. Miami hasn't had that happen to them. They've lost, yes, but they have never gotten beat up, beat down, embarrassed, and destroyed. And I don't mean to pick on the Pelicans. Yes, we know Zion was not available for the entire series. We mentioned that crystal clear. But Miami's culture, coaching, and their will to win, even without two of their best players, arguably their best player in Jimmy Butler, and that's not taken away from guys like Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, K-Love, or anybody else on the roster. Everybody's showing up and they're playing unbelievably good basketball with their backs against the wall. They're not wanting to stay up against the wall with their backs. They're wanting to move forward. They're wanting to go ahead and win. And they're not, to them, it's 0-0 still. I promise you that's that mentality in Miami. They want to win. They want to play hard. It's demonstrated every time they take the court, even last night. Though they did fall short, I give nothing but respect to Miami and Eric Spoelstra with his coaching staff and the way that he's able to keep his team in the game, keep those guys motivated, not let them get their heads hung down, looking at the floor, looking sad. No, they're ready to play the next game, regardless of the outcome of the game that they just got done playing. I think right now the shift of the series is going to make a bit of a difference, and I think it's going to give the edge to Miami to potentially drag it out a little bit longer. And when I say drag it out, that's not to say that they couldn't surprise you and really upset the Celtics. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. It's not very likely. Don't get the two things confused. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm not Gilbert Arenas. I'm not going to lie to you like that. We won't do that here on Raw Sports Radio. If we say something ridiculous, we're repeating what some other dumbass said and letting you know that's where his mind's at. Kendrick Perkins, big dummy. That's another conversation, though. But I think that Miami, honestly, in my heart of hearts, as much as I would love to see them go on and win this series, I don't believe that they will. I think there's too much firepower on the Celtics. I think that there's just not enough size on the Miami side of the ball right now. If they had Jimmy and they had Terry Rozier Jr. in the lineup right now and available to play, it would definitely change things up. No, it doesn't make them any bigger, but it keeps them fresh and allows Eric Spoelstra to use that rotation and keep fresh legs in there at all times while keeping guys still nice and hot, ready to shoot as soon as they get the ball. So hats off to Miami. They play again tomorrow night, and they do play in Boston. That game's going to be 7:30 on the East Coast, so 6:30 Central Time, and that's going to be, 4:30 at Pacific Time. Mountain Time is kind of one of those times that if you can't figure out the difference between Central Time and Pacific Time, there's an hour between them. And I leave that one out also because it's either Arizona or New Mexico doesn't recognize daylight savings time. So I don't have a fucking clue what time it is in the state that doesn't recognize daylight savings time. I don't even know what day it is over there, but it's okay. I love them anyway. I hope they keep tuning in, watching. And then let's get into this. Right now, we got 15.8 seconds left. Looks like the Knicks. You know what? I've seen crazier things happen in New York, and I'm sure they all remember some certain plays by a man named Reggie Miller in New York. Maybe they got their own Reggie Miller on their side right now that's going to help out. But I don't want anybody to be delusional and think that I'm telling you that New York's going to win, because that's not what I'm saying. So they got, like I said, 15.8 seconds left right now. It's the first overtime. It's a 4-point game. Philly's got the advantage right now by 4. They're still on break right now, so just waiting for that to get over and done with. The other game right now we got on is the 4 and 5 in the East. Orlando and Cleveland got a 5-point difference right now in that game. Cleveland up by 5 right now. Orlando looks like they just took a timeout. Looks like Cleveland's just taking it easy for the moment, getting ready to get back out there. And what is it? We got another 5 seconds left in the third of that game, so still plenty of time. 5-point game, like I said, and we still got an entire fourth quarter. And then the game that just started, the one that's really interesting to me, and I think everybody else that's watching, is the Bucks and the Pacers. That series has not went well for the Pacers, or for the Bucks, excuse me. You know, we talked about it on the show during our roundtables on Sunday about the firepower and how the Pacers can get hot on anybody real quick. And, you know, they've done that so far every game. And to the credit of the Milwaukee Bucks, with the exclusion of Doc Rivers, they're doing the best they can with what they got. They're playing out there, they're playing hard. You know, the last game, getting the ejection on Bobby Portis didn't help you. All right. That wasn't going to help you come any closer to winning, but it was probably one of those things, emotions, because you do get emotional when you're playing. This is competition, and these competitors are warriors. They take it serious. It is their craft. So, got ejected yesterday, or the other day rather, and Bucks end up losing that game. So right now, it's first quarter, halfway through the first. Indy's up 16-14. Plenty of time in that game. Too early to say anything. The third quarter just ended in Orlando, and the score is still the same, 70-75. Cleveland's got 5 on them at the moment. And as far as the Knicks go here, we 15.8 seconds, longest 15.8 seconds of anybody's life. Oh, now we're at 5.2 seconds with the same score, 110, 106 in favor of the Sixers. So, little bit of surprise. I thought the Knicks were going to be able to close them out, but hey, whatever Nick Nurse did to help coach up that team, and whatever Embiid and everybody else had to put together with Tyrese Maxey and the rest of the crew to hopefully get this win, unless they really fuck up in 5.2 seconds, then congratulations to them, and looking forward to seeing another good game 6 in Philly. So we might see a game 7 in New York. If anybody's going to get a game 7, it's going to be New York and Philly. No doubt. No doubt. But as far as the other games go, like I said, 18-14. Indy's got a 4-point lead right now in the first quarter, 5:07 left to play. You can catch that game right now on TNT or on NBA League Pass if you're out of that viewing area. The Orlando game is now in the fourth quarter with 11:53 left to play. Still the same score, 70-75 in favor of Cleveland right now. And Guess what? 5.2 seconds left in New York with the score. Wait a minute. Yeah, here we go. Game is over. Philly has won. Final score in overtime. In overtime, to credit to New York. 112, 106. Sixers take it. Now we have a 3-2 series, and we got some games. Now it's getting real. The 7 and the 2. All right. Let's see if this momentum carries over to game 6, and then we can see if they can push it to a game 7. Another update here. First quarter, 3:39 left to play. Pacers take it to 23-16. Yes, 23-16 lead over Milwaukee. And in Orlando, we still have the fourth quarter, 11-12 to play, with a 5-point lead still in favor of Cleveland. This time, though, the score is 72-77. I think one thing last night that was telling about the Lakers game and about LeBron and about LeBron's legacy and about LeBron's legend of being the GOAT and being discussed in the GOAT conversation comes down to what Will Smith said after he backed Chris Rock. Keep, fucking keep Michael Jordan's name out of the damn GOAT conversation when it comes to LeBron. Don't. Because the GOAT, the greatest player of all time, would not go down 3-0 in the first round of the playoffs. And then the greatest player would be the only player, if he were really the greatest player, to come back from a 3-0 deficit, which no player has ever done before. But if he didn't do that, then how could he be the greatest player? That just doesn't make sense. That just sounds crazy when I said it to myself. And I'm not even on anything. I'm just being honest. That sounds insane to me. You claim to be the GOAT. You claim to be the king. But you wear a dress and you got a man purse. Player, look, your GOAT card is revoked. You cannot use that in any country except countries that don't know how sorry that you really are. And I don't mean that in a bad way, LeBron. You are above average sorry. You are Karl Malone with 4 rings. You are Charles Barkley light or diet Charles Barkley in better shape. But you will never be Michael Jordan. Whoever told you that when you were 18-year-old LeBron, you should have listened to that motherfucker instead of thinking you knew what was up. Because whoever told you that, if they did, they gave you the best advice ever. Don't try to be the next Michael. Be the first LeBron. Be you. Don't even get involved with that kind of conversation because those are some big shoes to fill, and you're not filling them. Last night, Murray exposed them a few different times. Not only Murray, but Jokic exposed them a few different times. And Jokic had a bunch of turnovers. He didn't have a great game, but he still ended up with some crazy numbers, which is nothing that should surprise anybody since he is the favorite for the MVP at this point. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And I'm really looking forward to this other game that's going to start up here. It's supposed to be any minute now with the there it is. Clippers and Dallas. Mm-hmm. And I am looking forward to that game. And I apologize. My computer had it looking like it was on next. But according to this, unless, nope, it's Tuesday still. It's going to be on tomorrow. The Dallas and Clippers game, game 5, is tomorrow. And that is going to be back in Los Angeles. So we'll see whether or not we can get this home field advantage back to the Clippers, and we'll see how Luka and Kyrie and the rest of the Mavericks end up responding to that almost amazing comeback win the other night, down by 31 points. That was an incredible game to watch. It was a lot of fun. I think that you don't even have to be a fan of the Mavericks or the Clippers in order to enjoy that game and watching what was orchestrated, started by Kyrie, and then it trickled on to the rest of the team. And at one point, with very little time left, they actually had the lead, and I thought that they would be able to hold on to it. But then, old Chris PG-13 Paul George came through. He dribbled like he had young arms, young legs, and put up absolute beautiful shot that swished off the fucking net. And James Harden looked like almost the James Harden of old. And he was able to take you back to being that scoring machine, to get you that lead, to keep you in that game. And on the other side of the coin, much credit goes to Dallas and being able to not only over score the Clippers and overcome that deficit of 31 points, but they were able to get that lead. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to keep it, and Clippers end up winning. But it's been a fun series to watch. I look forward to game 5 on that one. And like we mentioned before, the 4s and the 5s, whether it's in the East or the West, historically have always been the funnest to watch. And I think the same thing holds true in this year's playoffs. The one difference I think in this year's playoffs, and I know that some of us have touched on it before, the physicality of the play and the refereeing of the games has been a lot more lax in the way of refereeing the games, but more physical in the play of the athletes. And I think that speaks volume to where the league is headed if they stay in the same direction. I think the only thing that might derail it would potentially be injuries. But if they're out there, they're playing hard, they're playing strong, they get a little bumped up, a little bruised, a little bloody. As long as nobody's in the hospital, in the ICU, or on life support, let them play hard. Let them get a little bloody. They're going to live through it. And if anything, just remember these guys make a lot of money. And money, it doesn't, it doesn't always make things right, but it can make things a whole lot better. So, one thing to keep in mind, guys. Aside from that, guys, I think, like I said, the GOAT debate, it's done. It's done. It's done. It should have never even been in the first place. But Michael Jordan, hands down, clear winner in the GOAT debate. And I told you I had something to talk about when we first started, and that is this. There was a unanimous poll conducted in the NBA by the NBA by current NBA players. Okay. I believe it was a survey of 149 players, and it was done unanimously. So nobody knows who it was. All we know, it's current NBA players. And the topic of it was, who is the greatest? And currently at 49%, Michael Jordan is the clear leader. In second place, though, to his credit, it was LeBron James, and he was at 37%. Kobe Bryant was also on that list, and he was at 9%. And there were, and I don't want to, I don't remember who else was on the list, but there were a couple other athletes on there, and they received 1, maybe 2%. So clearly, an individual who hasn't played in over 20 years is still considered the greatest player who ever played the game of basketball. And that's not coming from Max. That's not coming from Raw Sports Radio. That's coming right from the players of the NBA that are currently in the NBA. Not to mention, if you go to NBA.com and you look at player profiles, which they have for every NBA player, and you look under Michael Jordan's, it clearly says that he is the greatest player. And that's not me saying, that's the NBA. I can read it to you word for word, but there's no reason to. You guys already know this. And one thing we want to do here at Raw Sports Radio is set the record straight. If you're under 30 years old or right around that 30-year-old age, then you've been force-fed nothing but LeBron, 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 LeBron. I'm sorry that you guys had to go through this. And I'm sorry that you had to witness this lackluster, fake, phony, supposed GOAT, greatest of all time, because he wasn't. Not even close. The guys you see on the screen now, you see Jerry West, you see Charles Barkley, you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you see Bill Russell, you see Oscar Robertson, you see the great Will Chamberlain, rest in peace. You see Shaq, you see Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Dr. J, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry. It's almost like I want to ignore LeBron James because he doesn't deserve to be in there. I would take LeBron out. You know Dave's going to know. Dave already knows what I'm going to say. Moses. I put Moses right there. If I had a way to mark LeBron out of that picture with all these other awesome players, I would mark LeBron out, and I'd leave Curry in there. I'd leave everybody else alone. Different criteria. No criteria at this point, just greats. LeBron doesn't deserve to be in there because everybody in that picture played a lot tougher, a lot harder, and went through a lot more adversity than LeBron ever has. So I digress when it comes to the GOAT. You guys can debate the GOAT all you want, but when it comes to the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan is that guy. And then you can argue between Kareem, Wilt, all you want. You can even throw old ass Bill Russell in there if you want to. Hell, you can throw Magic Johnson in there. You can throw Larry Bird, and he's white. Look at him. White as Christmas. You know? But these are all great players. LeBron is a great athlete. Not the greatest NBA basketball player to ever grace the court. No, not at all. He got exposed last night. Yes, he's 40 years old, but you know what? Nobody asked him to play. That's something he wants to do on his own in order to keep his legacy alive and be like the Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. of the NBA with Bronny, who isn't very talented or good at basketball, to play together. That's his dream. That's what he wants. I don't think championships are a thing anymore. I think he's happy with 4. I think he's happy with where he's at in scoring. I think he's happy with where he is with assists. I don't even want to get into any of his negative numbers because there's far more of those than there are positive ones. And I could show you stat after stat after stat of it, but there's no need to, because there's no reason for us here at Raw Sports Radio to belittle the man and make an entire show on dissing LeBron. That's not what this is about. He had an early exit, the GOAT, after 21 seasons, should know every trick in the world, have every trick in the bag, have the biggest bag in the game. But if you're not the GOAT, then you don't have those things and you don't get bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. Okay? Facts. That's just facts. And if you watch basketball and you understand basketball, then you know what I'm talking about. And as much as we here at Raw Sports Radio love to talk about sports and basketball, we also want to be able to educate you, the viewer, in case you don't know something. Please feel free to ask, and we can explain to you and validate to you why we say these things, and we can prove it to you. So unlike these other guys that talk and give you a bunch of yelling and screaming and Stephen A. Smith with this crazy slow talk, we won't do that to you. We won't treat you like you're little children and that you're completely ignorant. We just don't know how much you know, but we will assume that you know enough because you're over here with us watching and participating. And the more you participate, you might be able to teach us something. So everybody and anybody is always welcome here at Raw Sports Radio. But for tonight, guys, we're going to call it a short episode, a little thing I want to try out and see. And it's not because there's nobody else but me here. I can go on and talk about Jordan for another 2-3 days straight. I got energy drinks, so I'm unstoppable. And that's not to take away from Wilt, and that's not to take away from Kareem, and that's not to take away from Bill Russell. That's not to take away from Oscar Robertson. That's none of that. It's just being able to take the time, watch the film on these players, see for yourself who is the best out of the guys that are claiming to be the GOAT or who other people claim is the GOAT. Is that Dave? Dave, is that you?
Oh yeah, man. I was hoping to be a part of your show at the end, man. Once you got done, I was waiting for you to get done with your show.
You're always a part of the show, brother. Dave, thank you.
Yeah, I was waiting, respectfully. I was waiting for you to wrap up your business, and then we could talk freestyle.
Brother, you know you're always welcome. Dave is the founder, in case anybody doesn't
No.
know.
Kill that. We all are the
Dave
founders.
is the most modest man I know.
No. Kill that. We here to talk basketball.
We're here to talk
Damn me. I love the game too much to insert myself. Man, LeBron. Hopefully all of this Jordan versus LeBron talk will end, and hopefully people will see that this was just a media. This is just the NBA selling its product, man. That's all that was, and LeBron didn't help. He was paying off media members. So hopefully everybody realized that they got fed a bunch of propaganda. And yes, you're an idiot. You fell for this shit. I don't never like to call nobody an idiot, but if you can't see that you've been played by now, then yeah, man, you might want to get some help, man.
You might be in that idiot category at this point.
Yeah. Start doing some independent thinking. Start doing some independent research. Some fact checking and everything, and you'll be all right. But LeBron, yeah, man, hell of a career, man. I know he extended his career and everything, but once that steroid allegation, if that clear, then I go back and revisit this conversation, not for the GOAT, but just to even see if he's going to be on the Mount Rushmore top 4 players, more or less even top 5. So I want to see what plays out with this Balco investigation, because right now it's during the season. So I figure during the off season we'll get back to it, especially during the off season, it's dead. There's no news really circulating except for the draft.
Going for him though, yeah, except for the draft. The one thing he's got going for him though is Clutch Sports and all the plugs that they keep giving him, and all the sportscasters and everybody else that's still on that Clutch Sports payroll, and they can't get enough of them still.
Oh yeah, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah. So we'll visit this conversation. We got to get into that. Yeah, it's a couple other top 25 players. Yeah, we was gonna cover. We were supposed to cover last week, but we'll get to it though. We'll keep it a surprise. But yeah, man, great show, man. I just wanted to talk about the series, some of the series, man. What were you covering? You was covering my Suns. I know they got eliminated. I told everybody before, man. Kevin Durant too old, and like you need if you're gonna you're gonna need a Chris Paul or something, sort of like a Chris Paul type of guard to even give these guys a chance, because these guys got a scoring mentality, not a facilitating, captain type of runner. Being, these guys aren't floor generals.
Right.
So I didn't think that was gonna work. I don't never think that's the solution, is a bunch of scoring. I think you always got to have somebody controlling the flow of the game.
Yep.
So, yep. But yeah, my son's going on, man. Congratulations to the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. As far as that Boston series versus Miami, your boy Derek White, man, 38 points, man. He was unconscious from 3.
And he hit the game winner just like he did last year. They were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It took that just to lift the Celtics over the Miami Heat, because I think you can correct me, but Jason Tatum, I didn't know they didn't they didn't really have a good game. They was far under the average.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
so
big time.
yeah, so I don't, what I'm saying, I'm not giving no credit to Jason. It was just this guy on the screen right here, man, who had an unconscious night. But trust and believe, this is a series. And Jimmy Butler, I don't have the update on Jimmy Butler, but I know it's going to be another uh, GTD or whatever, game time decision.
Yeah, I think the same thing with
So,
Rozier.
huh?
I think the same thing with Rozier. Game time decision.
Yeah,
But
it'll be another.
he might have been. I, I thought I saw a story earlier that he was cleared to play and it was a coach's decision, but I don't think I got that one directly from the NBA.com.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, but
hate to
like I said,
be in there and not be in there, and everybody's gonna be mad at Max at Raw Sports. We don't want that.
20 points from Jason Tatum and 17 from Brown. uh-uh.
You gotta
Not
have more.
from your stars. No. Nah.
No.
Uh-uh. Not enough, man. Can't get it done. So it took Derek White, man, to have that performance, 38 point performance, man. So
Yeah, he lit it up. He stepped up. He lit it up. He dominated. And another performer last night, Jamal Murray, one-legged, bad calf and all, putting up sick numbers when it comes to what he was actually able to put in the basket. I know he didn't have a real great night shooting. He was under 50%, but he never lost his confidence once, being as a volume shooter as he is. He kept going on that bad leg and everything.
uh yeah, he definitely stepped up. He said he wasn't gonna let his team down, so he was out there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just out there, he was balling.
Oh, yeah. He was balling.
Yeah, most definitely. And then, he hit that at the end of the game, he got the go ahead bucket.
He did it
So
again to him. Yeah.
it pretty much, I pretty much consider that a game winner, even though he left a couple seconds left, and LeBron he botched that ending as always. But
Yeah. He was just
congratulations to the Denver Nuggets again, man. They looking good.
looking good. We're going to see just how good, because Timberwolves aren't going to play you easy. I guarantee that. They're going to play hard as hell.
Now, KCP I guess he's gonna be the primary defender on Anthony Everson. So
Oh,
we'll see
really?
what Coach Mike Malone, what kind of defense he throw at the Timberwolves, particularly Anthony Edwards.
I'm interested to see that. I was talking to my son about this on the way back home from basketball practice, and I said, "What do you think? Is it going to be KCP? Is it going to be Jamal Murray?" He said it was going to be Jamal Murray. I said, "Why do you
to
think that?"
guard to guard Anthony Edwards.
To guard Anthony Edwards, and I said, "Why do you think that?" He said, "Because he matches up well with him. He's not afraid to get in his face."
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. I said, all
okay.
right.
Yeah. He played point. So maybe they could do some switching and have KCP on Mike Conley,
That's what I was
Conley
thinking.
Jr.
But I was like, man, I would rather have Jamal on Conley just because the legs are going to be a little bit younger there on Jamal. And I think
I
that he
mean,
could,
they can alternate. Of course, it is never 100%, but they can alternate. And Jamal Murray, you want to keep him out of foul trouble, so you don't necessarily want your best score, one of your best scorers guarding.
what are you going to do with, you're going to put Eric Gordon, you're going to put MP Jr. over on Cat. Who are you going to put on Cat? Who you think?
You talking about Eric Gordon on Cat? Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
because both of them play in the four. They match up at the same position.
You think it's a good matchup, or you think Cat got him?
I mean, who's gonna guard? I mean, as far as the Nuggets, if Gordon doesn't guard Cat, then who will? I mean, Jokic is not gonna go out on that perimeter like that. He's gonna be down in the middle,
Yeah, he's going to be.
resting, ready.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what he's gonna do once he get the ball. got a rebound also. And once so Rudy Gobert, he ain't much of a threat, so that'd be the perfect matchup for Jokic.
Yeah, I think he's gonna like that. I think he's
Jokic
gonna.
is gonna have fun with those assists right now. I can already tell you that.
I think Alexander Walker is going to be a problem if they let him play some minutes. I think that's going to be a difference maker right there.
Yeah, that team is. Yeah, that team is definitely not going to beat itself. They ain't gonna beat themselves. They ain't gonna cheat themselves in effort. So it's gonna be a great matchup, man. It's gonna be the talk of the second round. I think
That's
that's the best matchup in the second round.
so far, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So, like I said, I just wanna Anthony Edwards. I don't know. I don't know, man. This could be if Anthony Edwards get past the Nuggets, man. I guess this is officially his league.
He's taking that torch. Yeah, if he can beat the Nuggets, do something that hasn't been done, kind of like what happened with Cleveland and LeBron, take it to the promised land, win a championship. Now we got something to watch. Again, we don't have anything to watch, but now we got something to watch and talk about.
Hmm?
Somebody who balls out big time. And I'm just hoping the Lakers smart enough to get rid of LeBron, build around AD and Austin Reeves. And now they got themselves a good team once they get a couple good players in there.
We'll see.
We will see because I'd love to be able to root for him again. I just can't do it. LeBron just ruined it for me. It's like you ruined the Heat for 4 seasons for me.
Oh yeah, LeBron. I mean, I hope this showed everybody LeBron ain't who we were sold on. He is not the chosen one. He was just the chosen one out of the group that came out that year.
Yep.
Chosen of the decade because Kobe got into that rape charge, and I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't want to look bad in the league. You don't want the league to look bad, rather. We got to get
yeah, I
somebody
mean,
else over here, somebody clean.
somebody clean. So, and like Chuck says, man, he don't even know if LeBron is better than Kobe.
A lot of I wouldn't put him over Kobe, but me. But I saw Kobe the Mamba mentality, and to me that was a lot more than LeBron and the flopper. You know, it just no,
Yeah,
it just
true.
there's nothing there. There's a guy that's just running at you full speed, and you're either going to stand there and take the charge, or you're going to get out of the way, and maybe he can make a layup.
Yep, true
Now
enough.
I think he
The
misses.
league lacks scoring,
I know,
and they allowed it.
and they love LeBron.
I felt like that set the league back.
Yeah,
Players would eventually they would have figured it out.
I think so too. Because they would have had to. They wouldn't have had a choice.
Yeah.
You got these players that there's guys that played with LeBron even on the same teams, and without knowing, since it was unanimous on who they actually polled, but knowing that there's current players that have played with LeBron and not with Jordan, they're saying that there's no way this guy's the greatest player. There's no way the greatest player is this shitty. Can't be. I never saw Kareem have a shitty game. I've seen Magic have some off days.
Yeah, right now we got the Indiana Pacers, man. They up right no, Milwaukee up 35-33, man. So this is a game.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Second quarter there, 7:23, 2-point game, yeah. Orlando down by 2, fourth quarter, 3:05 left to play. Cleveland 97-95.
Yep. Did you mention the Milwaukee Bucks up 35-33? Right now it's a game.
Yeah, 35-33. Milwaukee up by 2, 7:23 left to play in the second there. Making a little bit something happen. Doc Rivers must have got injured. Somebody must have ran into him like they did the Milwaukee. or the Timberwolves coach.
Minnesota Timberwolves coach. Yeah.
Somebody must have hit him, knocked him out the game. That's why they're winning.
Yeah, but Giannis is still not back, man. What kind of injury does Giannis have?
I think it was when he was going up and he got caught up under somebody and he hit his back and went down on his back. So I believe it's
down on his back. So his back, and Damian Lillard is not playing.
Right.
This is fishy.
It doesn't. It doesn't look right. It did look fishy when they fired a coach with a 30-14 record. 30-14.
I'm not justifying it. I don't agree with that either. Definitely don't.
Like, damn, I got best record in the league, coach. You're fired. What? For real? Yep. Damn it. I thought I was doing good by winning. Nah, right. Like you. Oh. Or at least what Trav said. Trav thinks it's Giannis. But if
Giannis something is wrong. Something is wrong because Giannis can't get it. He's locked into his contract. He ain't getting out.
No.
Yeah. So they got him over the next, I think, the next 5 seasons? Mm-hmm. No, 4 seasons. Excuse me, 4 seasons.
Yeah. So 28, 29 season.
Yeah, and then this contract taking, a burst in 25, 26 season. Make that jump from $48 million a year to $68 million a year. It's a $20 million jump. Damian Lillard is under contract for the next 3 years. So, he take a $10 million jump in 25, 26 as well. And they have Chris Middleton on that'll be his option year. So
in 26?
In 2026, yeah. At least they got Brook Lopez for another season, and they got Bobby Portis for another 2 seasons. Pat Connaughton. Yeah, so I don't understand.
I didn't like that ejection. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think they needed to eject Bobby Portis because you know what? Bobby Portis is a foot taller than the guy that he was fucking with. And he was just trying to get the fuck away from him. He didn't hit him. If he wanted to hurt him, Bobby Portis looks crazy enough that he will hurt you. Bobby Portis looks like he was playing in the 80s and he's still on the coke. That motherfucker will slap the shit out of you.
Big ass eyes. But he broke face, man. Mirror-tick face.
That's what I'm saying.
From the Bulls.
He will don't play with that, just like Udonis Haslem. That motherfucker's like a 12-degree black belt. He will kick
not Udonis Haslem. That's James Jones. James Johnson, man.
UD, bro. UD for when he retired from the Heat. He was fucking.
That's James Johnson.
Bro, I'm gonna pull it up right now. I swear to God, unless
it's James Johnson. He's from Wyoming as well, I think. Wyoming. But yeah, James Johnson.
I know it sounds like I'm a fast typer, but I'm not. I just hit the buttons real loud. That way people think I'm, like, damn, I don't fucking know what he's doing. Yeah, James Johnson for Dallas. Yep, you don't want to fuck with him. He will fuck you up. Yep. Don't do it.
Yeah, but what about Udonis Haslem? What kind of training he has?
Udonis is, what did I say?
Second degree?
He is.
Second degree black belt?
I want to say you're right on that. He's not a third. He is a.
That's impressive still.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I was wrong on that. Wrong. But hey, it's all good, man. So you mean to tell me they had 2 black belts on their team at one time?
I'm telling you that Udonis Haslem since 2016 has been degree black belt.
No, because they had so that was recent. Okay, so that was after James Johnson. So maybe James Johnson influenced him to do it. But so since 2016. Yeah, because James Johnson, everybody around the league know wherever he bounced for, he was black belt. Yeah, so maybe, and Udonis Haslem, his career was already over with pretty much in 2016.
You're right.
They just kept bringing them back.
Johnson has 6 brothers, 2 sisters. Johnson's father is 7-time world kickboxing champion. 7-time world kickboxing champion. And his mother is a 5-time kickboxing champion. Come
See what I'm
on.
saying? So they probably got Udonis Haslam to where he to his degree.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a kicking pedigree right there. He will kick you, and he knows how to kick you. You don't want to get kicked by this man. You don't want to piss him off. Or Udonis. Either one of them. Don't piss either one of those guys off. No, because you see Udonis mouth, you know some shit's going to go down.
Nah, you got to have your pistol on you for him.
Yeah, you don't fuck around. He's a lethal weapon by himself. He's dangerous. I'm not talking super predator dangerous. No,
Pat Bev.
Pat Bev?
Wow, that was. Oh yeah, man, he made a physical ass layup like a play. A lot of contact.
They called that bullshit foul on him that last game when he did the too little.
Oh, and they didn't even give him a foul. He just continued to play.
Yeah,
but you talking about they called a foul against him last game.
Like, man, you need to cut that shit out. Let Pat Bev play.
Man.
He's been playing his whole career.
Right. Man, I tell you, it's sad that Giannis and Dame is not out there, man. This is fucked up, man.
It don't even look right.
Excuse my French, man, but this is some bullshit.
That's out there. Holy shit.
I mean, I don't like Doc Rivers as a coach, but if you got Giannis, you signed off on Doc Rivers. What? You can't be a no-show on the coach you signed off for. So it's blowing up in your face. Now you want to duck.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Trying to get him fired.
But I mean, why would Giannis want, of all the people that's available, Doc Rivers?
Man, they need to get Adrian Griffin his job back.
Right? Yeah,
You think that ain't never been done in basketball history? Never.
I can 43 games in the season. You got a 30-13 record. That's just disrespect there. And right now, with what's that say? I can't see. Orlando, Cleveland, 33 seconds, 102-100. Cleveland 2-point lead. Another one of those 4 and 5s we've been talking about. And also the Stanley Cups, if anybody's paying attention and watching that. I know there are plenty of hockey fans out there. We really don't speak a lot to hockey because we don't really know a whole lot about hockey and don't want to sound like idiots. So that's why you don't hear us talking about hockey.
Probably be in the future.
In the future, yeah. Like I said, as we grow, we're gonna get the guys that do know and be able to help out the channel and its growth, be able to broadcast and talk about these guys playing hard hockey because it's a fun game, hard game.
Yep. 45-40, man. Milwaukee is up on this over Indiana. Pascal Siakam at the line. 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah. And then we got 100-102 in Cleveland. Orlando down. 13.7 seconds left. Orlando's got the ball. I wish I could see this far still, even with glasses. Orlando's running down court. It's a white guy, so it could be one of the Wagners. And he went in for a layup, got rejected. Now it looks like we got a foul called. Nope. Looks like a foul got called, but not on Mobley. Mobley was fouled by Wagner. Yep. And if that's the case, and this fool hits 2 free throws, I don't know how you don't call a foul right there, but
so
To me, it looked like when he was going up
You
right
never
here.
said who it was. You never said who it was. You just said a white guy. That don't tell me nothing.
It
Who
was
was it?
Franz Wagner or Franz
Okay, okay,
Wagner.
okay.
And now,
Younger brother.
yep. And now Donovan Mitchell at the line made the first one of 2 free throws, getting ready to take the second one. One bounce, takes it, balls up, balls in. 4-point game, 3.2 seconds left. Cleveland's got the lead. Come on, Magic. You can do better. But like I said, every time the Magic is beat the Cavaliers, they've beat them big, like big,
Right.
bad. Right now, the Cavaliers 4 points. It's not been easy for them. So I still like the Magic. It's going to go 7 games, but I think Magic can get them. But now it looks like Milwaukee found a little bit of life somewhere out of nothing at all, coming out with
But
a
it
7
seemed,
lead.
yeah. I don't know. This series might end in 6. Cleveland might just go ahead and get rid of them.
You think so?
I don't know. It's a possibility. I mean, they took the 3-2 lead. They right there on the door. So Magic got to win 2 games, and then Cleveland only got to win 1. What's the likelihood of that? Of a team winning 2 before you could win 1?
Facts. Mathematically, I got no argument.
Yeah, I don't have a preference. I'm just
I'd love to see
neutral type of.
Orlando just because I used to live in Orlando and I still got friends, and I always like the
Yeah.
Magic. Good team.
I think they one piece away.
Oh, shit. They made it. They hit that 3. 103, 104, 1-point game, but
Uh,
and Paulo hit it. Paulo hit the winning shot. Wasn't afraid to take it. 1-point loss, but you know what?
clutch shot.
That'll make a big difference going into the next game.
Right. So Cleveland take that 104 to 103.
Yep.
36 points for Paulo Banchero,
Yep.
the
All of
Wagner brother. Yeah. France. Yeah, France chipped in with 14 points. Suggs 13 points. The other Wagner 8 points. And then on the side of Cleveland, big man of the night, Mitchell had the biggest game on that team, 28 points. And 23 points from Garland, the other guard, man. And Mobley had 14 points, 13 rebounds. Yep. Players stepped up, man. Strauss at 16 points,
Yep.
5 assists for 6 rebounds.
And you get you some threes too.
Well rounded. Well
Good
rounded,
win.
man.
That was a good win. That was a good team win. I like that. I like
Yep.
that. I can't be mad about
Even
that. Good game. And now we're going back to Orlando. And that shit ain't going to happen in Orlando. It's going to be a 30-point victory for the Magic. Guaranteed. You heard it here first from Max. And then when that doesn't happen, then you can talk shit to me. And then what else we got, Dave? What are we looking at right here? What's going on in Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, it's a minute and 30 seconds left in this in the first half. And Patrick Beverly just picked up a charge.
Yep, I see him right there.
Mm-hmm.
You think Spider-Man Mitchell made the difference tonight in that game, showing up as far as for Cleveland and the Magic?
Oh, I was watching a different game. I ain't watch it really. I was on it, we was live.
I got you.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to watch a whole lot of it either. I was out and about basketball practice. This whole kid being an adult and a father and a husband. That takes
Yeah.
time. A good one for Cleveland. I'm happy for them. I'm glad they got one. They deserve it. But I would love to see Doc Rivers just end the season tonight by Halliburton and everybody else. Miles Turner been killing it. Yeah. Aaron Neesmith been killing it. I bet you right now that Boston wish they would have held on to him, not let him go.
Yeah, he's stepping up, doing what he got to do, playing hard defense, man. That's what they need him for.
I think that
Everybody can't be a star.
right, and that's the other thing when they got rid of what's his name, Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, and then they
Right.
ended up getting rid of uh, oh shit, not what was his name?
Yeah, the guy I know who you're talking about, the point guard, the 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah. Then
Uh,
I can't.
he was lights out last year in the playoffs. I
Yeah,
forgot the guard you're talking about from Virginia. I know what you're talking about. I can't say his name
they got rid of
right
Marcus
now.
Smart. They kept old ass Al Horford. They kept White. They kept Pritchard. They got rid of big man in the middle. Couldn't stay healthy. Robert Williams.
Oh yeah, they sent him to Portland as well.
Mm-hmm. And then they
Yeah, they
got rid of.
sent him to.
I can't remember who that was though, but he was cold blooded. It'll come to me. I'll remember eventually.
Yeah, it's Malcolm Brogdon. That's what it
That's
was.
who
I'm
it
thinking
is.
of.
Yep, Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah.
Brogdon had a great season. They could have used him. They'll need him once they get to whoever they get to in the second round, and whether it's going to be one of these two teams. I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Pacers. I think the Pacers are going to give them a hell of a time. The Pacers are going to be a totally different animal than the team they just played. Miami's a great team, not taking anything away from them, but they're not healthy. A healthy Pacers team with everybody in there and available, boy, that's going to be fun to watch. I might be getting ahead of myself with saying the Pacers are going to go ahead and
Yeah,
win,
yeah, yeah,
but,
yeah. Because they got to close this game out.
but I feel good about it. I feel good about it. I'm not telling anybody to bet anything, but I think it's going to be a good game, a close game. This is going to be the best chance for Milwaukee to win. They just got to hold on to this lead, play smart basketball, not turn the ball over, take smart shots, play their game, and not get out of focus. Stay in rhythm. Bobby Porter showing out big with a block.
Yeah, yeah, man. He got 11 points, 6 rebounds.
That's what hurt him last
Not too
game when he
bad.
got ejected. Without Bobby Portis in there and already being down Lillard and Giannis, man, you didn't make it any easy on yourself. And my other guy, I'll tell you what, as far as team basketball is concerned, the Pacers play almost a college style offense when they're out there running. When they're out there running and they're clicking, it is unbelievable to watch. With Tyrese out there, he gets hot, he is unstoppable. I love it. I love it. I think it's a great game and it looks like it's going into halftime. Is that right, Dave? Yeah. It looks like we just went into halftime and Indy is down to Milwaukee 48
And
53 in that series. Indy still leads 3 games to 1. Will they be able to come back in the second half? We're going to find out. And I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about it on Thursday. Dave, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about tonight?
oh no, no, that was pretty much it, man. We can wrap it up.
All right, brother. If you didn't want to add anything to it, and I would just like to thank everybody for being out there. Thank you for being a part of the Raw Sports Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe, like, notification, and share button in any order you like, whatever's easier for you. Get the word out there. The Raw Sports Radio. We're here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we normally run anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. All depends on how many different topics we want to cover and the different things that we want to talk about. So, thank you guys again for joining us and being a part of the Raw Sports Radio family. Nothing but love from Raw Sports Radio. Nothing but love from Mad Max. Nothing but love from Super Dave. Trav is busy tonight, and if he was here, he'd show you love too. It's Tuesday night. Stay safe for the rest of the week. We'll see you again Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Raw Sports Radio Network. In the meantime, I'm Mad Max. Super Dave is in the background behind the scenes, and we're out. Keep it raw, baby.